As the sun dipped below the horizon, the 1908 London Olympics unfolded a spectacle unseen in sporting history. More than just a competition, this event became a pivotal moment that changed how the world viewed sportsmanship, ambition, and integrity. It was the fourth modern Olympic Games, and its selection of London as host city symbolized the glorious return of the Games to their birthplace. Merchants, dignitaries, and citizens flocked to the bustling city. But beyond the pageantry lay an undercurrent of ambition that would ultimately fuel one of sport's greatest controversies. Among the beloved events was the marathon, an imposing race stretching over 26 miles. Yet the 1908 marathon bore a unique twist. Its path was intentionally crafted, beginning at the regal Windsor Castle and culminating at the storied White City Stadium, home to the London Olympic Games. This was not merely a test of physical endurance. It would become a stage for ambition, deception, and betrayal. The distance itself, a deliberate modification from the traditional 24.85 miles, was altered to showcase the royal family's presence. The finish line had to be visible from the royal box. Such a decision foreshadowed chaos. The international spotlight shone on a handful of remarkable athletes. Among them was John Hayes from the United States, a determined competitor known for his tenacity and discipline. His stature as an athlete was admired, and his focus razor-sharp. Standing against him was Pietri of Italy, a runner who captured the imaginations of fans across Europe. Pietri was no ordinary athlete. He bore the weight of a nation on his shoulders, inspiring fervor and hope from his compatriots. As the marathon began on that fateful day, the racers took off with purpose, their feet pounding against the uneven terrain. The atmosphere crackled with excitement. Spectators lined the streets, their cheers mingling with the sounds of huffing breaths and focused determination. Hayes and Pietri surged ahead of the pack, setting a blistering pace. But lurking just behind them were other strong contenders, each fueled by dreams of glory. They progressed through the picturesque English countryside and into the sprawling cityscape. In the blistering heat, fatigue threatened to set in. Each runner battled their own physical limits. Hayes held strong, his strategy built on endurance, while Pietri darted with explosive speed. But the day's real turmoil was brewing underneath the exhaustion. As the finish line approached, the dramatic climax of the marathon began to unfold. Hayes, experiencing the struggle of dampened resolve, pressed on, manifesting grit every step of the way. Yet it was Pietri who surged ahead, breaking free of the crowd with fire in his eyes. But fate had other plans. As Pietri neared the finish, a disorienting haze enveloped him. His body, strained and spent, betrayed him in those critical final moments. In an unexpected twist, Pietri stumbled, his legs folding beneath him. Spectators gasped, their hopes teetering in the balance. But what happened next would change the very fabric of the Olympic legacy. Did Pietri's descent signal the end of his dreams, or would the desperate scramble for glory give rise to unprecedented intervention? Who would cross the finish line first, and at what cost? Join us next time as we delve deeper into the marathon's stunning finale and unveil the shocking decisions made that forever altered the Olympic spirit. The sun dipped low over London, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Anticipation crackled in the air as spectators gathered to witness a momentous occasion, the marathon. This event, now a staple of the Olympics, burst onto the scene in 1908 with a distance that would be forever etched in history. Originally, the marathon measured 25 miles, a meticulous distance established from the very first modern games in Athens. But for the 1908 Olympics, the course needed a grand adjustment. It needed to be prestigious. It needed to dazzle, especially for the royal family, who were keen to watch. So they stretched the route. Starting at Windsor Castle and culminating in White City Stadium, the race morphed into an unprecedented 26 miles and 385 yards. Unbeknownst to the athletes, this seemingly minor change would set the stage for chaos. As the clock struck 2:33 p.m. on that fateful day, the sound of the starting gun echoed through the crowd. A group of 55 athletes charged forward, hearts pounding and feet pounding the ground. The course twisted through the sprawling streets of London, a mix of cityscapes and green parklands. Early reports said the weather laid the groundwork for a grueling challenge. A sweltering day unfolded, and humid conditions began to take their toll. The competitors faced not just the distance, but the terrain. Paved roads gave way to uneven cobblestones, and the winding course did no favors. Early leaders emerged, including the confident American, John Hayes, and the determined Italian, Dorando Pietri. Both men were fueled by dreams of victory, their eyes focused on the finish line. With each passing mile, tension built. Who would claim the glory? Hayes took the lead early on, his powerful strides leaving a trail of sweat and determination. Pietri, ever the underdog, fought to keep pace. As the race progressed, the leaders faced yet another challenge: dehydration. Water stations were scarce, and some athletes pressed on with sheer will, ignoring their bodies' cries for relief. The spectators cheered, their voices rising above the clamor of the streets, urging their favorites onward. As athletes entered the final stretch, the race grew fierce. The heat bore down like a heavy cloak, wrapping the runners in exhaustion. Panting for breath and pushing the limits of endurance, Pietri suddenly faltered. The watching crowd gasped as they witnessed Pietri stumble, then collapse just yards before the finish line. He lay sprawled on the track, his dreams of Olympic gold slipping through his fingers. Hayes strode past with steely determination, but a whisper of doubt lingered in the air. Was it truly victory if he crossed the line first? With the finish line within sight, the scene turned chaotic. Pietri, refusing to give in, revived and staggered to his feet, but his footsteps faltered again. Unconscious of the rules governing the sport, he sought help from the spectators. Cries erupted from the crowd, both in support and outrage. As he leaned on the hands of onlookers, controversy brewed. At that moment, the marathon transformed into more than an athletic contest. It morphed into a spectacle of human resilience and ambition, rife with betrayal. As the drama unfolded, one question loomed large: would sportsmanship prevail, or would ambition twist the outcome forever? What happened next would shock the world and redefine the very essence of competition. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Dorando Pietri limped toward the finish line. The crowd surged, roaring with anticipation. For over 4 hours, he had battled fatigue and pain, each step a monumental effort. Sweat mingled with dust on his brow, his vision blurred. He was not just running for victory, he was running for redemption, a chance to prove his worth on the grandest stage of all. But with just a few yards to go, Pietri faltered. His legs buckled beneath him, and he collapsed. The spectators gasped. Officials rushed to his side, their faces a mixture of concern and astonishment. In a chaotic whirlwind of movement, they tried to help him back to his feet. In the eyes of the world, this was not just a moment of defeat. It was a gripping display of human resilience and desperation. Pietri stumbled, pulled up by those officials who had taken it upon themselves to assist him. As they guided him onward, a new conflict arose. The rules were explicit. Assistance could not be given during the race. Fans watched in horror and fascination as Pietri, his body barely compliant, was hoisted across the finish line. The gasp of the crowd shifted to a roar of mixed emotions, euphoria intertwined with disbelief. Then came the verdict. The race officials convened, deliberating the implications of Pietri's desperate ascent to glory. Moments later, the decision struck like a gavel. Dorando Pietri was disqualified. The roar of the crowd turned from celebration to discord. Confusion spread like wildfire. How could a man, who had quite literally crawled to the finish against all odds, be denied triumph? The disqualification sparked outrage. Spectators displayed a range of emotions, from booing to cheers, as they processed the scene before them. They had witnessed a gladiatorial effort, a demonstration of spirit and endurance that transcended mere rules. Was it truly betrayal, or was it a reflection of the corrupting influence of ambition, pushing one man to defy the limits of his body? In that moment, the world of athletics was split. Pietri became a symbol, not solely of failure, but of the struggles athletes would face in pursuit of greatness. His act of defiance against the boundaries of sport ignited dialogues about the ethical standards of competition. Audiences wondered, where was the line between sportsmanship and ambition? How much could an athlete sacrifice on the altar of victory? The ramifications of Pietri's actions reached far beyond the dusty grounds of the White City. His dramatic finish sparked debates that echoed through the halls of athletic governance. Would future marathons allow aid? Would they rewrite the rules of competition? And in the heart of this scandal lay a singular question, with ramifications that felt as vast as the race itself. How far would an athlete go to claim glory? As the dust settled around the track, the stage was set for a reckoning that would change how the world understood the Olympic spirit forever. But would this controversy open the door to reform or deepen the fissures in competitive integrity? The answers loomed just beyond the horizon, waiting to unfold. The dust settled over the White City, but the controversy of the 1908 marathon was far from over. Shortly after the race concluded, John Hayes stood on the winner's platform, his gold medal glistening under the evening light. He was celebrated as the official victor. Yet, what dominated conversations was not his triumph, but the dramatic saga that unfolded moments before. Meanwhile, Dorando Pietri, the man who sprinted and stumbled against all odds, received an unexpected recognition, a special silver medal. The International Olympic Committee, recognizing his extraordinary struggle, decided to honor Pietri, a gesture that blurred the lines between winning and losing. This was a testament to his determination, yet it ignited a fierce debate on ethics in sport. Was it a reward for resilience or an acknowledgement of a chaotic turn of events? The aftermath of 1908 left its mark on the world of athletics. Newspapers splattered accounts of the race, immortalizing Pietri's tragic journey from hope to despair. Public opinion was divided, reflecting a deeper societal dilemma. Admirers heralded his determination as noble and heroic, while critics lambasted him for needing assistance, a view tainted by a fear that ambition could lead to disgrace. In the wake of this scandal, officials recognized the necessity for clearer rules concerning race conduct. One pivotal outcome was the establishment of strict penalties for external assistance. No longer could an athlete receive help across the finish line, regardless of circumstances. The integrity of competition was at stake. The marathon, once a test of endurance and grit, began its transformation into a fiercely regulated event. Moreover, an undercurrent of change rippled through the Olympic Games itself. The shocking events surrounding the 1908 marathon became a catalyst for broader reforms. The need for fair play and respect for the spirit of competition was clearer than ever. This would influence subsequent Olympic marathons, leading to standardized distances, clearly defined rules, and an enduring commitment to sportsmanship that would echo through the decades. The legacy of 1908 transcended its immediate effects. Over a century later, the haunting image of Pietri's final struggle remains etched in Olympic folklore. His journey sparked conversations about the very nature of competition. What defines a winner? Is it merely crossing the line first, or is it the heart and soul displayed throughout the fight? The scandal unwrapped a complex tapestry of ambition, integrity, and the human spirit, challenging athletes and enthusiasts alike to contemplate the essence of sportsmanship. Even as the marathon gained structure and coherence, the spirit of Pietri's determination continued to inspire countless runners. His story would become a touchpoint in Olympic discussions, often reminding athletes and audiences of what it truly means to compete. Yet this saga reminds us that even with regulation, the journey of the marathon still harbors its own challenges. As traditions evolve and standards tighten, new questions emerge. In a quest for purity in competition, what sacrifices will future athletes face? And how will the echoes of 1908 shape the marathons to come?